ready for some 50-degree weather. Never actually end up doing what I think I'm going to be doing. I don't know how to start this video. It's currently January 2nd. I've been in a hotel for the last 7 days, just recuperating, trying to figure out what my plans are gonna be for 2022. Up until like yesterday, I had no idea where I wanted to go in January. Part of me was like, maybe I'll just like meander around Colorado. And even that I knew wasn't gonna work out because I feel like in Colorado, how I do in California, it's just very crowded. It's really hard to find places to be alone. Yesterday, I decided to call my friend Anna because whenever I'm this confused about where to go and what to do, I've always found that it's good to talk to other people and to try to figure out where they're gonna be so that maybe you can like, anyways, after our conversation, I decided I need to go south. 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I think the best way to describe how I was feeling at this point is just stuck. I was feeling stuck. My trip from Monument Valley to Denver had been interesting, to say the least. Within one 24-hour period, I got food poisoning for the first time in the van, which was actual literal hell. I also got my first knock at the door at 5 a.m. while I was laying on the ground, nauseous as all hell. When I was finally able to get up to see who was knocking, I was met with a lady telling me to leave because they needed to plow the parking lot that I was in. I also got stuck in a blizzard, like actually stuck. On Christmas Eve, I was driving in a snowstorm. I was behind a snowplow and a Land Rover. We were on an incline going very, very slowly when a truck came up behind me going very, very fast, pushing both me and the Land Rover in front of me into the lane that hadn't been plowed. And when it came time to accelerate, the Land Rover got out and I didn't. I'm major stuck. Surprisingly, I didn't freak out. At least externally. My van was stuck in about a foot of snow at that point. The snow was coming down incredibly hard. I ended up getting my chains out and all of the buckets that are in this van, kind of like flares, like truckers put out flares. I put out my buckets. Once my buckets were out, I put my chains on, and then I got to work digging myself out of the situation. I don't have a shovel, so I got the box that my chains came in and I cut off the top. And I used this to shovel about 30 feet of 10-inch snow from where the van was stuck to where the road was actually plowed again. Once I'd done all of that work, I got in the van and I started driving and my chains fell off. And that's when I started to freak out. I allowed myself to freak out for like 5 minutes, and then a sheriff pulled up and helped me do a U-turn using the gravity of the hill that I was on. The good news is that I did make it. And I got to spend the last week of 2021 with my brother and my grandma. But when it came to hitting the road again on this day, on this morning, there was no way in hell that I was going to be sticking around the cold any longer. On this first day, I'd planned to drive all the way to New Mexico, but as soon as the sun started to set, the landscape turned golden, and I found myself rerouting to a tiny patch of BLM land just north of the border. This was our last night of a month full of freezing temperatures, and although part of me was damn ready for some sun, another part of me was wondering if I'd regret leaving so soon. I think I'm starting to understand why Finn wanted to go inside. It's actually freezing. Actually, he is one of the biggest reasons why I'm gearing to go south. If I could keep the weather right around 34, it would be perfect for both of us, but unfortunately, I'm not a weather god. I don't know where I'm sleeping. I've decided I'm not sleeping here because there's only one other person here, and per my own van life rulebook, that's against the rules. Which is good anyways because I think I'm still like 7 hours away from White Sands National Park.
Looking back on my past, I probably could have took it better. Find a way, knowing that my time is not today because I could leave it all behind. Leaving the devil need time to lose some time. If you nervous, you haven't fallen. The reason now I'm headed to the penitentiary, see me on TV.
So I only made it like 20 more minutes south. What? I'm at a rest area. I feel safe here. And that's all that matters. gonna make tonight an early night. I still have a long drive tomorrow, so I have to wake up kind of early, and so I have to go to bed early, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do because... Anyways, come on, Luna. Hello. You're so goofy. I'm excited to go somewhere warmer tomorrow. I feel like an ice cube. An ice cube ready for bed. Clean your bed. The next day I drove from northern New Mexico all the way to southern New Mexico, and as much as I'd like to be able to say that it was an easy day of driving, it really wasn't. The 7-hour drive took up all of my daylight, and when night arrived, I was already running on empty while I ran around town dealing with the repercussions of winter van life. I went to a car wash to peel off the layer of salty grime coating my van, and I spent a few hours at Home Depot pulling apart my water system because, fun fact, when you leave water in your pipes in 0-degree weather for a week, stuff breaks. I think that does mean it's broken. By the time that I pulled into camp, I was convinced I'd lost my groove and my marbles, and I fell asleep feeling aimless as all hell. It wasn't until I woke up the next morning with the sun on my face that I realized I might have made an alright decision. I'm in a dress! And I'm not cold! This is amazing! Driving up to this national park, I have to say I didn't have the highest of expectations. In my head, I couldn't imagine sand dunes being that cool, but as Finn and I hit the dunes, for the first time in over a month, I felt like I could breathe. The gypsum warm under our feet, the sun keeping us company as we ran around like kids on the first day of summer vacation, this whole day was a dream. You're like, no, I want to play fetch. You know, the more that I travel, the more I'm wondering if there is such thing as like vortexes or whatever they say. Places where you just feel damn good. I spent the afternoon setting up my new bullet journal, which, believe it or not, was probably the funnest activity I've done so far this year. And it wasn't until I felt my skin starting to burn that I made my way back to the van, and I must have been high on vitamin D or something because I couldn't stop smiling. God, I feel like I can breathe. I love the sun. This is amazing. It's really quiet in here. We made it back home. I am exhausted. And now I am going to make a smoothie. Yep. All right. I'm tired. I think we're gonna take a nap. Oh, somebody's coming. Oh, hide. I don't know why this place feels so much like home. This reminds me of California so much. California is my home state, and Monterey is my hometown, but it's no longer home. I think ever since the summer, Monterey hasn't been home. I waffle back and forth between being okay with the feeling that, like, I don't have a home, but also, like, kind of freaking out about not having a home at all. There's a fine line between feeling an immense amount of freedom on the road and feeling like you have nowhere to go. There's a fine line. Sometimes it's easy, to deal with and sometimes it's not. Right now it is. Last night it wasn't. There's a car coming. And just like that, we've got a whole new storyline. It's so funny how every couple of months I think I'm gonna know where I'm gonna be in 3 months. Like a week ago, I thought that I was gonna stick around Colorado and Wyoming and Utah. But then my mental health got bad in the snow and I realized I don't want the snow algorithm. Snow videos get better views on YouTube. I don't want better views on YouTube right now. The pressure gets big when the views get big and the hate gets more when the views get more. As much as that all translates into more opportunities, at a certain point it's not even worth it because you burn out because the pressure's too much and the hate is too much. This would be so much better if I was sitting at a fire. Can we just pretend? Let's just pretend that there's a fire right here. The next evening, I made my way back to the national park to try to catch sunset. During the week that I was here, I actually came back 4 times, just because nothing else sounded nicer. Lately, I've been kind of impulsively chasing anything that sounds halfway nice. I feel like I came into this new year expecting to feel excited at the prospect of an empty slate, to be excited about a new year full of new possibilities, and in a way I am. I'm coming into this year with a more solid foundation than I've ever had before, and yet, something about the weight of ringing in a new year alone, especially alone on the road, has just felt awfully heavy. And I'm not going to elaborate, mostly because I don't have the words to yet, and because I'd rather talk about how much joy there is in southern New Mexico sunsets. Okay, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. This place is nuts. The sky is nuts. The moon is nuts. I'm nuts. I don't know where I'm going when I leave here tomorrow. I might go into Arizona. I might go east. I might stay in New Mexico. Only time will tell. But for the first time in a long time, I'm excited at the prospect of warmth. I'm not done with snow by any means, but while I have the ability to just drive away from the cold when I'm sick of it, I'm going to take advantage of it because we like the warmth, clearly. Finn hates leashes. And now we go sleep at Walmart. I'm playing coffee at 3 a.m. I've never cared. Why I start caring now? It must be nuts. Miso soup. You are the same color as the sand, my dude. Why do I always make a mess? That's done. What are you eating? Is that poop? Why do you eat poop? He eats poop.